Hey, it took me a while to figure it out, but now that I have it figured out, I tried to redo the video to the best of my ability to show you like how I started and stuff. So I put your image on here so I could know what I was working with, like the last shirt, and then I went to the square, just straight elements and shapes, picked out a square. It's this color only because when I previously did the shapes, those were the colors. So I stretched the square into a rectangle and then duplicated the rectangle in order to make sure that all of them were the same size and shape. Of course, I did 5 at the top for the actual image, but I'm just showing you that the steps I went to pretty much create the shape and change the colors. Sorry about the humming, by the way. The AC went out last night, so I got a fan on in the background. Okay, so once I got them pretty much close enough, as you can see on the top, I I didn't do all 5. I just did 3 just to show you how. I grouped them together, and then I added a page underneath this page, and I pretty much the stretched the colors in order to um, make them fit the whole page for the most part. So I end up deleting this one just because I just wanted you to see how I did it. And once you do it, you can follow along and do it. But what I came up with in the end was the shape that you see behind this. So on this one, I decided to go ahead and make them closer together and redo it just so it would be easier for you to see that I closed up all of the spaces so that it would be easier for the letters to accept those spaces without me having to go back and change the spacing. Okay, so from here, I am downloading it, and I'm only downloading the second page as a transparent background PNG because in order to do the text, I have to be able to import that image into the text app. Okay, so there we go. That's the new one without the spaces in between. That was the first one I did and it didn't work. So now I'm going back into the text app, the text tools or whatever they're called, and I'm going in to type in the Jesus so you can see how to get Jesus in those colors. So here you see how it looks when you click on text, and then this type cutout tool is what I ended up using, and that's what I used previously to do the first one. And so now I'm just showing you exactly what I did, which is change the main text to capital Jesus, and then I'm going to click the first box up there. Wait, my bad. Here's where I changed the font to queering because it gave me the S that I needed to make it long. And then I go up and I change the actual image because you can see there's spaces in between these text boxes. And that's the image. And you just want to do choose file and then choose the image that has your boxes in it. And from there, you're just going to adjust by using the 2 arrows that are separating to scale the image to what size you need it. And then you're going to move around the actual the actual image to the word just to make sure that everything fits where it needs to fit. Now this is my first time using this tool, so thank you for for making me have to figure this out because I hadn't done it before. I just typed in the text and then I would just change it, but this time for some reason now it's not letting me do it the way I used to. So As you can see, it came out just the same as the previous one did. And from here, I'm going to work with the new one because hopefully you've made it to this step. So I'm going to delete the old one. And then I'm going to delete the colors because we're done with that. And then I'm going to make, I'm sorry, I'm not going to delete them. I'm going to take them down to the second page just in case I need it again. So I'm going to open up, expand Jesus. And then I'm going to end up duplicating it. So once I duplicate it, I'll make sure they're both straight. And this is when I start to pull down on the first one. And you can't see what's going on exactly until I mess with the second. So I'm going to move the first one down. Okay, so now I have access to the second one where I'm going to move that one up. And I'm going to move it up just below where the E is. But I need to make sure that that J is cut off on the top. And I think I might have changed it a few times and ended up pulling that top part of the J back in just because it didn't look right. So the bottom, I need to make sure that where the curves are, as you can see it kind of sticking out, that needs to be deleted as well. So because I thought that the image had moved, I moved it back up to check it, and then I realized it was just that I didn't go down far enough to cut off those extra curved lines. So now I'm going to take the first image up again, and this time I think maybe I missed a J and pulled it back. No, I didn't. Okay, so now I'm pulling down the bottom image to get rid of that little curve, and then I try to pull this one down to give it a little bit more of the E, but as you can see that the front part of the J keeps creeping back up, so I have to keep going in to kind of change that, and I'm trying to keep an eye on it so that it's not showing up. And that's just a mistake I kept making from doing this my first time, but still trying to make sure that E was kind of, as you can see, like there's still a little bit of the J there. So I'm still trying to make sure that I get that perfect to where it is completely gone. So now that I believe I have it gone, I'm trying to find one of these font combinations to kind of just already have it, started for the inside font. And this one, because it was already cursive and the font is somewhat cursive, I ended up trying to use that, but it ended up not being what I needed it to be. It had too many restrictions because it was a text combination, and so I ended up finding another one that was more easy to work with than this one, because it was too much to have to deal with, and it's easier to just work with something that doesn't have double restrictions on it like this one. As you can see, the dotted lines on the outside. Okay, so this is me finding golden hour, which to me seemed a lot easier to edit than the bright pink one. And I pretty much just took it down to one line so it would be easier to work with, because I knew it was just going to be the one line. And then from there I went ahead and typed in the text that was going. So this part is pretty self-explanatory, just because I am now getting it to the point where I am changing the color, and then working to change the font. Now the font on the shirt that you have looks very familiar, but at the time I was not thinking, I could not think about what the font was. I knew it was a font that was kind of cursive, but not calligraphy, if that makes sense. So it took me a while, but I did come to the font that I felt like was closest to it, if it's not that. And it ended up being brush script, which I've used before, but just could not remember it today. And luckily it was in the B's and not the Z's. So I click on brush script, and to me it was a perfect fit for what was already on the shirt. And now all I have to do is pretty much take it and size it to where it goes all the way to the beginning of the J and all the way to the end of the S. And from there, that pretty much completes the shirt design. And I just have to make sure that I move it up to where the F in life is not touching the bottom of the S in Jesus or the Y in way. And so I just pretty much move that up, and for me that pretty much completes it. So from here, all you have to do is delete. If you are using putting the shirt down for reference at the bottom, all you have to do is pretty much delete that shirt off. I'm not, just because I'm not using this, I'm not using this for anything, but just to show you. I'm also going to add you to this, what do you call it? I'm going to add you to this design so that if you want to use it, you can. And then from there, all you have to do is save it with the name, and then download it as a PNG with a transparent background, and you are good to go from there. Just make sure that you are only choosing the first page, because we do have 2 pages. And then after that, you are good to print to DTF or sublimation or whatever you need to do. And we're done. All right, have a good one.